Good morning, students. So far we have finished of the first part of the 5 lessons. Okay, and now from here I am going to start about the poetry. Prose we have finished. We are going to start about the poetry. And you know the poetries are very quite difficult to understand the things because it was imagination of the poet what he thinks. So that before starting this, I would like to introduce the title of this poem. It is called "The Pair to a Pair of a Sarus Crane." There are two pairs of one pair of a sarus crane. That is, wherever in the field or near the river lake, you find it white gold with a big leg, picking something food from the water, and that is called as the sarus, the crane. Okay, exactly like our crane which something can be pulled out from the deep. Okay, same thing. And this was a poem written by the Manmohan Singh. You know Manmohan Singh, who is a famous man. Okay, let us see few about it. If you want a more detail about it, just Google Manmohan Singh of the biodata. You will get it everything. Okay, for us it is not so important to clarify everything in this class. Okay, that will give you a few idea about the author, about the poet. Okay, Manmohan Singh, an officer of the Indian Administrative Service. He was working in the administrative service in the Adadita Adhikari. Okay, and he is a contemporary poet. Okay, he was during the time of this season. Okay, published in the number of the magazines. This is poems, because he has not only the poet, he has written a lot of writings, and this poem is taken from the book titled as a Village Poems. Okay, and the further things in the next one is, let us see about the summary of this poem. Okay, I will slowly explain to you the summary of this poem, then we'll read about the poem very clearly. The poem should be read in the light of the fact that in India, sarus cranes have specific significance. Okay, and if you know Ramayana, Mahabharata, who has written about this Valmiki, in this there is a Valmiki, he speaks about this. Okay, sarus crane. Let us see about this. A species is venerated in India, and the legend has it that the poet Valmiki cursed a number of the killing of the sarus crane and was fallen inspired to write the epic Ramayana. Okay, when the Valmiki was fallen asleep because he was a hunter, he has gone for the hunter when the two cranes were eating something, and he shooted his arrow the crane. After shooting, he himself has fallen down, and with this recognition he started to write about the Ramayana. Okay, so that is very important in the story about the link to the Ramayana. Okay, among the Gondi people, the tribes classified as the fire god worshipper. From the beginning, we see, if you see before the Ramayana, if you go to the Indian philosophy, see, we don't have this religion as we today we believe, because we believe the religion which our ancestors followed up. Who is our ancestor? Actually, from the beginning, if you take out to the Vedas, Rig Veda, Samaveda, Ajurveda, Atharvana Veda, in that the very famous Veda is a Rig Veda. In the Rig Veda, if you take out our Indian philosophy, which are the caste we had? There was no caste actually in the beginning. Everybody was worshipping the sun god, Vayu, Varuna, Agni. These are the nature they used to worship. Okay, they used to worship this nature, that is the worshipper of the nature, because they thought the nature is bigger than them. If they don't pray to the sun, next morning the sun will not come to give them a light. Okay, if they don't worship to the rain, for this year, for the crop, whatever the rain is required, the God will not help them to send this rain. So same thing, it was other things they have worshipped as and they worshipped as a Agni, because it was a holy which can burn away all the evil. That is what nearly we are coming towards this Deepavali. What is that Deepavali? Why you are cleaning your whole house? No? Are you not cleaning your house every day? We are cleaning. Why? That signifies that the old evil may burn. You may wash away, and at last, actually, the olden tradition, they burn the deepa. Right? Deepa is the burns of the bad things and keeps the burning, giving a new life to the others. That is what the Agni. And so that the people of this olden days, they were worshipping the Agni, and that was the Ramayana speaks here. Among the Gondi people, the tribe classified as a fire god worshipper, the sarus crane is considered sacred, very holy. Okay. The meat of the sarus was considered taboo in ancient Hindu scripture. Taboo. Okay. It is widely believed that the sarus pairs of life and the death of one partner leads to the other pinning away to death. If they are the two partners, they are like a husband and wife. Okay. If one crane dies, after few seconds or few hours, even the other crane dies. That was okay. Let us see. Start again. The meat of the sarus was considered taboo in the ancient Hindu scripture. It was widely believed that one of the sarus pair of the life and death is one of the partner leads to the other pinning away to death. I already explained to you. Now see, they are a symbol of marital virtue, and in pairs of the Gujarat is the custom to take a newly wed couple to see a pair of a sarus crane. In Gujarat, we have this wedding couple's figure has to be taken into the sarus crane. These references show that sarus cranes have human qualities. Okay, they exactly refer as the human qualities. They have a specific dignity and are to be treated. Reference show that the sarus crane have a human quality. They have special dignity and are to be treated with veneration, with respect. Yet the hunters in the poem are depicted as treating the bird with a total closeness and the confusions. The poem opens with a picture square description of the male sarus crane, which is said to stretch its neck to pull the reluctant sun from the rim of the horizon. Okay, you know there is a vertical and the horizon. Okay, horizontal, that is called a horizontal, the longer one. Vertical is the side by. That is what we saw in our landscape. Also we have the horizontal, okay, and the verticals. Rims means the edge. See, there is a edge of the tire, there is a rim, no, that is the end of that beams which comes out from the wheel, that is called the rim, which connected. Then the later comes as the tire, that is called the end of it. So that is the edge. The line suggests that it's not yet time for the sun to rise. See, it's very important here. What it is, that the sun is not yet to be rise, and still there is a time yet to come up. Okay. But the male bird is impatient and wants the sun to come out earlier. But here the male sarus was waiting for the sun to come because he was in a hurry. This conclusion can be arrived at considering the fact that the bird hunters starts hunting usually 1 hour before sun rising. See? When this crane was waiting for the sun to rise and waiting there silently, and before the 1 hour, this hunter wants to hunt this crane. This is what the things is. Okay. Just as the male bird asked, as if to pull the reluctant sun out from his rim of the horizon, the hunter shoot it down, reducing the proud neck to an undignified heap. The hunter speaks the bird indifferently, and the carry is like the dirty line of the horses in her sorrow. Looks graceful. The poet contrasts the graceful movement of the female bird against the disgraceful end of the male bird. See? And when they are put together, the hunter puts the arrow towards the male bird, male crane, and the male crane turns his head and it goes and touches to the female. And the gracefulness of this bird, which affects to the female, and it kills the female crane. And it looks like a sorrow now. The poet contrasts the graceful movement of the female bird against the gracefulness end of the male bird. The poet compares the sound of the bird to the Morse code to highlight the intensity of the grief of the female bird. After the killers go away, the female bird, after the desperately gathers the blood-stained feather of the male bird as though she was trying to hatch a toddling chick out of it, falling down and about to die. That bird, that called the toddling bird. Okay, the male bird back to life. Though this description, the poet refers to the female bird's high-sensed grief and the desperate attempts to bring the male bird back to life. However, there is a merciful end to the sorrow of the female bird as a wave which she had never seen before comes and takes her to her dead partner. The bird thus has an escape from the cruel world of human beings who have legends and the fables on love, but have no value for the love of birds as explicated in the book The Game Birds of India, Burma and Ceylon by Hume. Thus we see that the poet compassionate towards the birds whose feelings are not understood by the hunters at all. The lover of birds, okay, they don't want to kill anything, but the human being, they want their enjoyment. Okay, the hunters, they just want to hunt the things only for the enjoyment. They don't understand this love towards this bird. Okay, because he also says the Hume has written, is the Hume from the Ceylon. Okay, they don't understand this because they live for each other. Say one dies and the other also living here is that. But in this, what happens? Merciful grace, he says that blood of a female that helps the life of a male to survive. And this is how the whole summary of the the poem. Let us see about the poem slowly. I will read to you carefully so that you can understand slowly, little by. Okay. I'll come back. Here we have our English book. What is the moral action? And here is our poem. Let us see. Okay. There are 25. Okay. The man was sure as he necked to pull the reluctant sun out from the rim of the horizon. Just before rising of the rim of the horizon, when the sun comes, it sends the beam towards the earth, and that is what the exactly coming from the looks like. The sun is like a wheel. His rims, his gray races are coming towards the earth, and this crane was just waiting for this to. So this, and in the summary we have seen there is 1 hour before the crane was waiting for this dawn, the sun rays to come in, and during this time this is raising his head to look at the sun. She flew crying as he was picked up hands and jaws, and a proud neck was humbled to lie like a dirty line in the course of a washing bag. See? And he is putting his head in the water as if it is washing his back, to humiliating, okay, in the humiliated, like a dirty line, okay, as if something is, sun is not coming, still I am humiliated. I want to look at, but he is not coming. He is not cared for this. She circled the sky in the movements of grace over his disgraceful end. Because it says, no, she cried the sky. She circled the sky in movements of grace over is a graceful end. There is a graceful end, because we have seen already this hunter is going to hunt this when he was waiting for the sun. This crane was waiting for the sun to rise. The hunter is going to hunt this crane. That was a graceful end of his life. Okay. The killers went away, and she returned to the death scene with a grief that inscribed an intensity in dots and pits, like the Morse code of a bird's sorrow transmitted to the air. Okay, even this end was transmitted, given to the air. Even the nature was feeling towards the end of his life. Okay, with her beak, she kissed a few feathers. Okay, female, male, not with a beak, the kissed or picked up to the few feathers of a wounded crane, picked the ones that wind had not taken away. When it is a shot, you shoot the bird, the feather falls up. As soon as the wind comes, the feather will blow off. But there are some feathers which are not taken away from the whether it says here. So those feathers it picked up and sat to hatch to count the blood-stained feather, to look at the blood-stained feather into the toddling chick. It is a small toddling chick. A wave of the seas she had never seen come to her from far away and carried her to him. She went away beyond the used words, beyond the legend, the fables of a human love. You see, this shows this love for the love of the sarus crane, which shows that it was beyond the human love. Human may not understand the love of these birds. They live for each other. And that human doesn't understand. He is ready to come towards his desire, to anguish, to his affection. Okay, but that kills somebody without the mercy, it says here. Okay, see you soon, and let us see about the little bit about the glossary. With this I will conclude this video. Reluctant, hesitant, necked, stretch its neck, rim, edge, humbled, lowered the dignity of, chorus, rough, inscribed, wrote, cut words on something, carving is called inscribed. Morse code, a symbol of language invented by the Samuel F.B. Morse in 1791 and died in the 1872, that uses a combination of a long and a short sounds of the flashes of light for sending messages. Toddling, walking with a short, instantly steps. You know that when the crane was walking, talk, talk, talk slowly, you know, to pick up something from the far side. Dots and pits, short and long cries of the female bird. Hume's words, they certainly pair for life and probably exhibit great grief for their mate keeping for weeks at times about the locality where their partners was killed and calling constantly. I have actually known the widowed bird to pine away to die. These are the Hume's words taken from the book The Games, Birds of India, Burma and Ceylon. It was written in 1881. Legends, stories from the ancient times about the people and the events that may not be true. Okay, legendary, the stories, the belief of the people which was not true. Fable, a traditional short story that teaches a moral lesson, especially one with the animals and the characters. Example, Panchatantra tales and the Aesop fables. And let's see in the next video about the question answer about this poem. Thank you very much. See you soon.